I thought Starfield was done. However, after recently re-downloading this game, I could not be more wrong. There are more creatures, more companions, and tons more vehicles. So buckle your seatbelts because I'm about to show you what's new with Starfield. If you're enjoying this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and let's do this. I'm going to start with one of my favourite new features of Starfield. This is the New Atlantis Awaits creation. Like all of the creations and all of the mods in this video, it's completely free, so you can download it on Xbox or PC. Now in this video you're going to see a mix of official updates and player-made creations, and one of my favourite player-made creations is this, and what it is a massive expansion to the capital city in this game of New Atlantis. This is meant to be a sci-fi metropolis, and with this creation it is. You can see all of the buildings stretching right the way up to the sky. There's probably around 5 times the amount of new buildings, and it probably turns this city into a sprawling setting. Kind of reminds me of Cyberpunk a bit, and it is a massive improvement to the vanilla city that the game originally launched with. And it's not all just for looks as well, because some of these buildings you can actually enter. Like this clothing shop, you can head right the way in through the doors and have a little browse of all of the clothing. So it's not just, empty buildings, they're actually populated areas, and you can go right the way in and just have a little browse. Speaking of which, there's an entire new nightclub in this city. This uses the neon nightclub for inspiration, so when you go in you might have a little bit of deja vu, and sadly the music is still absolutely dreadful. Okay, here is a head-to-head comparison of the new city with the old city. So here's a vanilla New Atlantis, about half the amount of buildings, but with the new creation we see a bunch more buildings, making this into a more convincing sci-fi metropolis. So what does this mod add in addition to the new buildings? Well, we also have a new river that runs all the way through New Atlantis, giving us a bit more life. We also have way more NPCs, so the creator of this mod actually added loads more NPCs to populate the new larger environments. As well as that, we have cafes, we have bars, we have extra landing pads, so you're going to see ships come in and land, just making it feel more alive. And as well as that, there are little extra effects all over the place that you probably wouldn't necessarily notice at first. These include things like blowing leaves, smoke in different locations, subtle particle effects, and things like added trash piles in alleys. We have extra wind effects and more. But maybe most exciting of all, the creator of this mod has actually said that they've put in some room for more expansion down the line, so we might see an even bigger New Atlantis very, very soon. Another feature I love about Starfield in 2025 is more varied alien sizes. So this is the cosmic scale creation, and it's completely free, and what this does is make alien sizes a lot more varied. So for instance, this is a regular Ashtar, and this is a more giant Ashtar, as you can see, absolutely huge. And yeah, the scary thing is they get even bigger. So this is a regular size version of this creature. Looks a bit like a pig with a duck bill, and this is a giant version. So you're going to encounter more random and extreme diverse variations of aliens. Really, really fun, this, getting right up close to giant versions of aliens. And I mean, it makes sense because we are on a cosmic scale, so you would expect aliens to be massive and also get really, really small, and that extends right the way down to tiny creatures like this one. You'd barely even see it if you weren't looking for it, but yeah, aliens can get tiny or they can get massive. And it's not just aliens, we also have fauna that can increase in size, like this plant and this tree. They can get absolutely huge, and you never know what you're going to run into. This creation also mixes up the sizes of NPCs. If you go into a settlement, you're going to see that women are slightly shorter than men on average, but this isn't the rule, so you're going to see all different types of NPCs and all different shapes and sizes. So here we see a slightly smaller NPC in the settlement of Aquila, which is a bit more realistic. Now here's the vanilla version. As we can see, these NPCs are exactly the same height as each other and also as me, but in the new version we see a slightly smaller NPC. So yeah, that's a really good feature I like of the cosmic scale creation. If you ever thought that there weren't enough ships in Starfield and you were seeing the same old ships over and over again, this creation fixes all that. It is the community spaceship expansion, and it adds a whopping 428 new ships to the game. So all you have to do is go into the creation menu, download it, and you're going to be hit with this. It says, as soon as you load into a game, total ships added 428, total spawns used 64, and time it took to add all the ships 69.79 seconds. So essentially what this does is add new ships to all of the spawns. What does this mean in game terms? Well, it means when you're exploring a planet or a moon, you're going to be seeing a lot more ships spawn in, and as a result there's a lot more ships you can take over and commandeer. 428 in total added by this mod, as I say, but that gets added to the total that was already in the game, meaning we've got about 550, just off the top of my head, ships that have now been added to Starfield. Now, as I'm playing this game in 2025, I am rarely seeing the same ship twice. But there's probably one question you're asking: where do these ships come from? They're not just random creations that some algorithm has made. Actually, the creator has kind of sourced this from the community. So all of the ships you're seeing now as a result of downloading this creation are all player made. That means they vary wildly in design and power, so it's not just form that you're going to be seeing switching up, but also the functionality of ships as well. Some will have really fast engines, some will be overloaded with firepower, but all of them will be completely unique. Vanilla Starfield did not have enough companions, in my opinion, but this creation changes all that. It turns the game into a Star Trek simulator where you can command your own entire crew. This creation is called The Gang's All Here. What it does is essentially let you have multiple companions up to, well, this amount, and it's insane. They shoot when you shoot and they go where you go. They are your very own loyal crewmates. So as you can see, I got embroiled in a massive land battle against a giant alien parrot, and there they are fighting by my side. Very, very loyal. I think I'm going to give them a promotion after this one. You can dress them up however you like. You can also outfit them with different weapons and gadgets. So their inventory is completely customizable. As you can see, I've decked them out in fetching, matching jumpsuits here. But then I get into a massive firefight in the city of New Atlantis, and you know, I kind of make short work of all the guards because I've got about 20 crewmates by my side, and that's where the fun begins, because you can have even more companions than you think you did. So right now I doubled my crew size and I get embroiled in a huge land war on an alien planet. So it's my crew versus a bunch of UC mercenaries, and guess who wins that? Yes, it is the massive army that I've led to this place. It is ridiculously fun to have an entire army at your disposal. Although the creation is not just about controlling entire platoons of people, it actually gives you fine control over each companion. For instance, you can direct companions individually. You can also control the relationship of your companion, so you can raise the affinity of that companion and also control how quickly you're going to reach their quest. There are different chat options as well, so you can speak to your companions whenever you want to. You can set hotkeys to make fine controlling them even easier. And there's also a Constellation Companion submenu, so you can And there's even a constellation companion submenu, so you can see at a glance your relationship status, your affinity level, and their anger level, in case you've kind of got on their bad side by, for instance, starting massive firefights in capital cities. Who would do that? Not me. Okay, this next one is for anyone who thought vanilla Starfield was way too empty. This creation is called Encounters, a Grind Terror PPG standalone expansion. What this does is add a bunch of new encounters to planets. So these encounters can range from entire bases full of mercenaries that you can take down to just random ambushes of people that are going to come out of the bushes and just start assaulting your vehicle when you're driving past them. You never know what you're going to get with encounters, so here are a few that I found when I played Starfield after downloading this mod. So we have this place, which is sort of a dumping ground of a bunch of intergalactic junk. Absolutely zero enemies here, but there was a nice helping of loot. And then after that, what I found was a bunch of UC Marines who I had to dispose of with extreme prejudice. This was on a snowy planet, and this was just organic. So I was on the way to a mission, and this just happened. And what this does is make those lonely drives to missions a lot more exciting. Now, as you whip out your scanner and have a look around the planet, you're not going to see the same old points of interest and the same old locations that you've seen before. You're going to see different things that you've never seen, and one or two things that aren't even marked on the map. So it's always worth just having a little explore around a planet and seeing what you run into. Other examples of encounters that are included in this creation are a crashed ship, which is in the process of being looted, which means you're going to have to fight for that loot and try and wrestle it out of the hands of another faction. There's also different caves that are added into the spawn pool, so you're going to see a lot more variation in caves, one of them with extreme environmental protection, so make sure you wear your best spacesuit, and also huge legendary aliens. Now, the creator said in their description that, quote, "These are pre-made sets just randomly placed on your map. The goal of doing it this way is that there is something to do and look forward to between POIs and not taking their spots in the generations." End quote. So in other words, this doesn't replace POIs, it actually adds to it, resulting in way more interesting stuff out in the world. The creator continues in their description, quote, "The downside is that it's possible for them to spawn kind of close to POIs as it's really random. So every encounter will be different because they can happen anywhere. Different geography can also interfere with the preset placements, so that is a potential problem. And the POIs will always be different." So I kind of paraphrase there, end quote. So yeah, this can result in a bit of chaos because the encounters are so random that they might spawn on top of already preset placements that Bethesda have added in. But hey, that's the name of the game. We want pure randomness in Starfield, and this is what this creation adds. Starfield in 2025 also has a range of new land vehicles. This is one of them, and probably my favorite one. This is the Annihilator. It's a completely flying vehicle, but it can also go along the ground, and it has machine guns and rockets at its disposal. So what you can do is do flybys of enemies and just carpet bomb the complete hell out of them. Really, really fun. And once again, this is a free creation, and I've been having so much fun with this one. So it's called the Annihilator, so look for the Annihilator, or the V47 Annihilator to give it its full title. And what this is a vehicle you can use to glide all over beautiful terrain and annihilate enemies from high and afar. To actually get this, you need first the Demog, which is the official Bethesda vehicle, which came out maybe 6-7 months ago. So that's a free vehicle, and this creation uses the Demog as a template. So make sure you have the Demog downloaded, and you also need the Rev 8 downloaded. But again, that's also free. So a few of the features of the Annihilator. We have custom made doors which animate when you open and close them. We have accelerated accelerated atmospheric flight. So if you press RB, you're actually going to boost and seriously increase your speed. You can boost vertically or horizontally, and it's also infinite, so there's no cooldown on the boost, which is a lot better than having a cap. And finally, we have the full colorization, but this is not the only ground vehicle in Starfield in 2025. Here's another one, and this one is an army jeep. I really like this one. It's slightly more rustic than the Jet, but you can hover just as the Annihilator. I kind of like deploying this one on jungle worlds because it just kind of fits that theme. As well as bounding over the dunes, you can also pilot this into the sea, and it does not sink. This is a floating Humvee, and yeah, you're not going to fall down into the depths of the ocean. It's kind of cool that you can just drive straight over water like a James Bond vehicle. So there we go. Starfield in 2025 is a vastly different game to the one that first came out. What will next year hold? Who knows, but in the next video I can tell you that I'm going to show you way more Starfield features. I had to hold a few back for this video, but yeah, make sure you subscribe to the channel to see that video.